Hey guys, it's Alex from Alpha Comics and Games. I am interrupting your regularly scheduled Quid Pro Roll episode to let you know that not only do we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Goblins Growlers, where you can get access to some really cool additional Quid Pro Roll content, but we also have Quid Pro Roll content available now at Alpha Comics and Games in Willow Lawn. If you ever want to check us out, we'd love to see ya. And now, on to the episode and all. Thank you guys so much for listening.
While Alex checks her notes, let me just regale you all with a little bit of soft elevator music. Do 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 do. Oh.
This is Quid Pro Roll, a fantasy live play adventure where a party of unlikely heroes embark on a quest to bring dragons back to their world.
Well, howdy, listeners. Welcome to the Daily Crier Listening Show, where all the news and Varian and beyond can make its way, well, right to you. Well, as it would turn out, I am still having some issues with that temporal stabilizer. However, the occasional waft of cardamom in the air is a stark improvement. Though, I still should have something to you in just a moment. Let's take a look back on where we left our misadventurers. After talking with the freedom fighters and coming up with a game plan, the party split up into two groups to cover more ground on their side objectives. Solinar and Koza attempted to casually walk into the warehouse district, but were soon surrounded by some firm and generally unfriendly folk, organized in their efforts to keep strangers out. However, mild threats of violence do not deter our heroes, and they soon find a path along the rooftops to re-enter the area and hopefully find out who and or what is behind all of these kidnappings. It's a curious thing when criminals seem to work for the law of the land. Can they still be considered criminals in that case? Difficult to say. But what isn't too difficult is, y'all take care now.
If I told you once, I've told you once more time, 2 times. The more money means tastier, drunkier, but less hangover alcohol.
You're full of crap, and I'll tell you why. It's 4 letters. S-A-L-E. Are you telling me that an expensive bottle of liquor all of a sudden tastes worse if they're trying to get rid of it on sale?
Yeah, that's why they watered it down. They watered it down when they put it on sale.
No, the bottles that I'm talking about are the ones that are sealed with wax at the top. They can't water those down.
Oh my gosh, they've resealed them. Have you ever
Are you trying to tell me that at the liquor store they got a waxer in the back room?
They got waxers in the back room? You never been in the back room?
That can't be sanitary if they're doing it in the back of the liquor store like that.
Of course it's sanitary. It's 180 proof alcohol.
You can get a tattoo in the back of a liquor store, but I don't want anybody waxing my bottles back there.
I have gotten a tattoo on the back of room of a liquor store. Look, it says, more expensive, more better.
You got
this bottle.
You got a tattoo on your back of a room in a liquor store?
Yeah, in the back room, on my back.
Look, does it have? Is the waxing machine in your tattoo picture?
Check it out. It's the tramp stamp.
Oh snap!
Waxed. Well, where did those two make off to, by the way?
I don't know. They were making all kinds of noise. I wouldn't be surprised if they were asked to leave.
Look here, Barnabas Omnibus. You've been my best friend ever since the death of our other best friend. Chaoticus Morbius. And I'm just grateful that I get to share my ink stamp backroom back tat with somebody who recognizes the joy of a high-proof, high-dollar whiskey, even though your opinions on them are wrong about them being on sale because they water those down.
Well, you're not too bad yourself. What's your name, Dangler?
Aximus Stone Dangler.
Ever been so drunk you forget your best friend's name?
Your best friend ever since the death of our other best friend. And the death of the friend before him. Megatron Gunslinger.
Which is funny because guns haven't been invented yet.
His family name is for something they're gonna do, not something they had done.
Something
That's what he said.
something they're gonna do.
It's coming down the barrel. That's what he'd say every day.
Oh, he was a Cooper, was he?
Where did those two get off to, by the way?
Koza, Solinar. Having left the distracted banter at the bar behind, you are able to sneak in, grab a couple of the ratty cloaks that these guys have been wearing, and wrap yourself in them, able to steal out the side of the building through the door and duck through the alleyways. You're able to travel around closer and closer to this collective of voices that you hear. And you're going to go in and you're going to see a group of these bandit, street tough, scary looking types all seem to be gathered around waiting for something. They have the same energy that one would have before a headliner comes on at a music festival.
There's just one drunk guy on a corner like, bandit, street tough, I'm not that rough.
And then another guy comes up and just clocks him. Just absolutely.
He absolutely, like, slams him
So
with
hard,
a bottle
his
of
shoes come
expensive
off.
booze.
Yeah,
Oh,
his shoes
man.
come off, and the person takes his shoes and spits on him.
It was Elliot Spitzer.
Yeah, and then he puts the shoes back on that guy's feet.
We could not have gotten out of there a moment too soon. Like that, any opportunity to get the hell out of that place was the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got out of there. I did, wow, didn't want to spend any more time in there.
No, fully agreed. I will say, great work on table 30. Very demanding customers, but the fact that they left with a smile on their faces, I think if you really put yourself to it, you've got management written all over you, buddy.
You know, there could be management, but really at the end of the day, what I care most about is that the customers had a good time and they enjoyed the food and the atmosphere. You know, I think that's maybe what's more important. Maybe the most important thing.
That sort of dedication, that's the sort of thing we like to see around here. Anyway, what do they have going on over here? What is this? And Solinar starts, like, trying to get into the crowd without... Given that these are a bunch of, like, rowdy, like, street merc guys who are here to guard a thing, like, he's not trying to jostle anyone because that feels like fight-on-sight behavior.
That
So
probably is wise.
he's gonna try and like gently insert himself into the crowd so that he can hear what's going on deeper into it.
Most of the banter back and forth is stuff that is kind of washing into your brain and out of it. It's not useful information. It's a lot of, you know, sword measuring. It's a lot of, no, I'm tougher than you. No, you're not. There's a lot of conversations about whether or not the price of alcohol indicates its quality. But there is a thing that does catch your ear. And that is, you hear whispers of a rumor that the reason that this meeting was held was to draw someone out.
Solinar turns to the guy immediately beside him that is not Koza and goes, "Did you hear about this guy that supposedly, like, got in here and isn't supposed to be? I heard he's got like this really crazy scar over one eye.
I didn't know we knew anything about him. I thought this was just for the boss to lure him out.
Well, I mean, people talk, but like, it's all hearsay. Like, I'm not saying I've seen the guy. I'm just saying, like, I heard some stuff.
Yeah, and I've heard that, I heard that he also has a scar over the other eye, but that one's less big. It's like a smaller scar.
Another figure draped in cloaks similar to the way that you guys are turns and goes, yeah, well, I heard that he's got this like neon blue ponytail and 3 teeth.
I don't believe you.
I didn't believe me either. But that's what I've been hearing.
Solinar's like eyes get big for a moment, and he's like, "Oh, a blue ponytail. Then he'd be somebody who used to run with that gang that used to be in like the Alarian area, right? The ones that did all of those like crimes with the warehouses."
You know, the gang that does the crimes. That narrows it down.
Around Miller's Port.
Oh, yeah, you must be thinking right. Any of those weird hair colors, crazy looking mercs all come out of Alaria.
Yeah, the Phony Bones Jones gang.
Yeah, that one.
Just imagining somebody clinking some milk bottles together. Phony Bones, come out to play.
What was my Phony Bones voice?
It was
aggressively Australian, if I'm remembering right.
Steve Irwin vibes.
but that character is also wicked dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is a plot point that he is dead.
He's so dead, it's crazy.
Remember when we did that heist and I got eaten by a crocodile, but then guess who ate his way out? That was a memory flashback you guys had.
Solinar's got like a single tear forming in the corner of his eye, and he's like, the thing I heard about this guy is that he got eaten by an alligator, and to get back at him, he ate that alligator's wife.
And kids. Don't forget the kids. I have kids too.
So the figure that you had been talking to kind of pauses, and the original guy you had been talking to goes, "What?"
Yeah, nest of eggs. I fried them all up. Just a giant kid omelet.
I'm sorry, is the ghost of Phony Bones hovering over Solinar right now, giving editorials?
This is like that synapse connection where you sort of kind of remember a story and then you start telling it and little details come back to you as you're telling it.
Hey, one day you're going to be telling this story and you couldn't tell it right. That's why I'm telling you in real time. Just you two, and no one else of the gang gets to know these details. This is just things that you two in this room with me, just in case I ever die, which I won't because I'm immortal. But if I did, you one day, if you're on a roof, you better fucking make my story be known. I ate all those kids in an omelet with nothing but jalapenos.
Solinar shakes his head and wipes away the single tear, and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the guy that told me that was lying to me about the guy we're looking for."
And broken glass in the omelet. Shattered. And I ate it. I ate the whole thing.
I've noticed that when we introduce ghosts into this game, they're always doing nothing but giving color commentary and strong editorials.
That's it. I got nothing
That's
else to say.
what ghosts do.
Nothing else to say to you two. Just that. See these scars on my lips? I ate all that glass.
Clearly, the Virian afterlife is just not that exciting.
It's like we're just floating in a field of flowers in eternal summer. That's boring. I want to go.
Remember, I'm not going to come back as a ghost. 1, because I'm not going to die. I'll live forever. And 2, because this is my last message to you as solo blokes in this room. That's it. When I'm done, I'm done. I'm out. I don't do sequels. Don't even talk to my agent.
Yep. Pretty sure that was made up. Fully. It's like when your friends send you on a snipe hunt, you know? Like, you start imagining all these cool things that it could be. This is Solinar talking to the first guy again.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you're just pulling your leg, making up half of it. Though it would be crazy if this guy turned out to be like a guy with scars on both eyes, 3 teeth, blue ponytail. Could you imagine? Would you imagine if that guy has been hiding out amongst us for all this time? It'd be crazy.
As you guys are having this conversation, a hush sort of settles over the group as a figure comes out and steps up on a couple of crates to address the crowd in general. You are familiar with this figure. Gentlemen, it's lovely to see you all again. I'm so happy that everyone was able to make it to this little meeting of ours. I know that there has been some issues with some of the shipments getting delayed by some vigilante do-gooders. I deeply hope that they have been taken care of, but if not, we will be addressing that later.
Before the first sentence is even out of Alyssa's lips, Solinar's hand is on Locke's shoulder. Like, holding him in place.
You can feel like he was going to, like, start heading forward when you did that, and now you can feel him basically vibrating under your hand. Alyssa goes on to talk about some logistical things, and it comes to your attention. You've known this either consciously or in the back of your mind for some time, but it really comes into the forefront of your mind. Alyssa hasn't been dealing in weapons or illegal drugs or dragon parts. Alyssa's been dealing in people. It takes a while before she wraps up everything that she was going to say, and at the end of it, you can tell she looks almost disappointed. She's going to come down, and then she's going to head to another building that's far to the east side of the dock. Well, not dock, you're landlocked, but this shipping packing area. She's followed by 2 very large guards and ducks into the building, and you can hear it softly lock behind her. The group of the collected toughs have begun to disperse, muttering amongst themselves a little bit of confusion, a little bit of disappointment. Maybe the rumor wasn't true. Maybe this wasn't to lure somebody out. Maybe they just needed to be updated on some of the practicalities of their horrible shipments.
Solinar, as the door is like locking and we're starting to hear the murmurs of like, oh, well, maybe this wasn't like a whole plot type thing. He kind of dusts the like hem of his cloak a little bit and he's like, well, we'd better the 3 of us get to our post. You know how the boss gets when you find spots that aren't guarded like they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Let's do that. You can feel just like this anger radiating off of Locke.
And Solinar is going to guide the group away from the building that Alyssa just walked into.
I'm pretty sure that our post is over there.
Nope, you're thinking of last week. We're over here today.
So the 3 of you are going to duck into a sort of side alcove. Not quite an alley, but enough of a contained space that you are likely to have a more private conversation.
Is there a doorway off this alcove.
What kind of doorway? Because yes, but I want to make sure I'm giving you the info you need.
Into a building that is likely not heavily occupied right now, with this neighborhood being set the way that it is.
Yes.
Solinar is going to try the handle on that door to see if we can just enter.
It's not that the handle is open so much as it is broken. It comes out in your hand and the door creaks open.
A little unexpected, but hold on a moment. And Solinar tries to, Solinar's, awkwardly trying to put it back together, and, more pieces are falling off as he's doing it.
No. Because it takes, a little pinch of spores and, puts it into the broken door knob area. And, shoves it's the knob that broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then, shoves the knobs back in as some little mushrooms and mycella start sprouting out, and it's kind of pulls the knob back into place, and you hear a little as everything kind of settles back the way it should be.
Thank you. That was honestly a nightmare. Yeah, let's step inside for a minute, gents. And Solinar holds open the door and gestures for Koza and Locke to proceed.
They enter the room, and the door closes behind you all with a soft and very well-maintained click.
So, I don't know if you just weren't listening while you were there, which I understand you may not have been. I get that you're very angry, but the whole thing was a lure for you specifically. Alyssa knows you're here, and yet you were gonna try something anyway? How do you anticipate fighting that entire crowd of dudes, or does that not matter to you?
Locke is going to pull his hood down and kind of cross his arms and shrug.
Oh, before I forget, Koza, Locke, Koza. Koza is one of my current traveling companions. We're, as I think I told you last time we met, trying to bring metallic dragons back to fight all the chromatic dragons. Koza, Locke and I used to run in the gang with Alyssa before she, according to Locke, which I'm starting to trust more than I did when I first heard it, sold us out.
Really glad to know you believed me just on my word. Person who's supposed to be one of my oldest friends.
When two people that I used to trust implicitly tell me opposite things, I don't know how you expect me to make a decision between them.
Go with the one who wasn't known for being manipulative. Speaking of easy to manipulate, where are your other friends?
They are currently on a different mission for the group that we're affiliated with here.
He looks mildly disappointed.
I mean, there's a chance that we'll link up later, I don't know. But for now, we came here because we heard that there was merchandise traveling through the area, and I'm starting to think, based on putting one next to one and then counting them as two, that is illicit trafficking humans?
Yeah.
Is that her whole thing right now?
She's been selling them to the Barosian army.
That's horrifying.
I don't disagree. The thing that I am both concerned about, but also, quite frankly, don't care as much to address before I handle Alyssa. The people are going in and not coming out, and we can't figure out where they're going.
We?
Well, me and any of the contacts I've used to find the info I have thus far.
Are your contacts our contacts? Are we using the same contacts while we're here?
Probably not. My contact, for the most part, is my cousin.
Oh. Does your cousin run with Nell's group? Red Feathers?
You know Nell?
Yes. We were specifically asked to seek out and deal with any slave trading anything that we found by Nell. Oh god. That was is that a year ago? 2 years ago? I don't even know at this point. This adventure has been a lot.
How did you get in we're talking about the same We're talking about the same Nell.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Nellarose Johanna Wolfwin. Red
That
hair.
I don't know.
Pony, braid, arrows, scar
Yes.
on her mouth.
That scar on her mouth?
Yeah, she's got a scar on her mouth right here. You didn't notice?
I don't know that she had a scar on her mouth when I met her.
She got the scar
it
when
wasn't-
she was 13. I guarantee you she's had it.
Well, then it wasn't prominent when we met, because it's not a detail I recall about her. Maybe I spend more time looking at people's eyes, Locke.
Maybe don't imply I stare at my cousin's mouth. Real weird.
Wait, she's your cousin?
Yeah, that's my contact.
Wow, small world.
I don't...
Yeah, we met in Palabar. We were spending time with Maheni of Ocean Var. Not Palabar. Gosh dang it, what's the name of that town? That's where we met you, Koza. But I'm completely blanking on what the name of that town is.
Oh, that was so long ago.
That's not important. That's super not important. We were hanging out with Maheni. Maheni said that she had a contact that she wanted us to meet with, and that contact was Nell. Nell asked us if we'd be willing, since we're on this journey, to seek out and deal with any slave trading that we might hear about, and so far, we haven't heard of a lot, but what we have heard of, we have sought out and dealt with.
Well, I'm certain she's thrilled. But that's the contact I've been using to ferret out information.
Well,
Shockingly,
she's-
when you're raised like our family raises us, it gets you both very good at crime and very good at vigilante justice. Lot of overlap between those two things.
I mean, I guess technically vigilante justice is a form of crime, I suppose.
That's for crime for nerds.
Well, so have you been talking to Vesuvius here?
Yes, kind of. He and I don't get on, but he has been helping.
Well,
It's how I found
us,
out about her. Here.
He's who sent us this way, so you can thank him for that much at least.
Well, currently, I'm going to thank him for interrupting my plan to kill Alyssa.
Well, I'm gonna thank him for interrupting your plan to get yourself killed. Because that's all you were going to do. That's literally it. That's the whole thing. You were going to burst from the scene and be like, haha, I have you now. And then you were going to get stabbed. A lot.
The audio mix. I am here to... All right, well, what do you suggest I do then? Because you lost me my one good shot at getting at her.
No, what I lost you was your one good shot at getting yourself again killed. Because she knew you were here. She had a strong suspicion you were in that crowd. So I would wager that the door she went through is probably booby-trapped. Because probably she expected you to do the thing you always do, which is immediately go to the last place you saw someone and try to kick the door open.
Not that predictable.
What was your plan?
Go to where she went and kick the door open.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, what I propose, because I think this needs to stop, I agree, we go to wherever she is bringing people in.
And
We
blow up a
stop
building.
things. Well, maybe.
We could blow up the building she's in.
Well,
Hey, your friend does magic. Can you do blow up people magic?
Like make them bigger?
No, make them dead.
Oh.
How many dead making have you done with magic?
Oh God.
Koza's now having to realize how many people he's killed.
Can we talk about something else?
So what I'm hearing is you're good at killing people with magic.
Oh, I don't think I'm good at it.
Okay, cool. We'll just use your friend.
Locke, real quick. Koza is not a professional killer. I don't even know that I
Clearly
qualify.
he's prolific.
No, well,
Is that what I'm known for?
No, I don't think so. So Koza's thing is mushrooms. Koza's really good at using spores in a variety of ways that, frankly, I have found fascinating and horrifying in equal measure.
I love horrifying and fascinating. Put spores in her lungs.
That's a little extreme. I would prefer to end this circumstance without losing more people that I, at the very least, once had significant meaning to me.
Solana, 2 things. 1, this is not going to end without me or Alyssa dead. You're really just going to pick which one of us. 2, you, at one point, thinking Alyssa was cute should not factor into this.
That's not even a factor here. We're talking about...
Sure, that's not a factor at all.
That's not for this situation? No, not a factor. It's not. I'm telling you. You can make that face at me all you like. It's not a factor. So here's what I'm suggesting. We figure out where people are being brought in the first place. We liberate and arm some folks because they are going to be pissed. We do some damage to the supply line on their way in. We bring some attention to it.
So if you're trying to start this by going to where the people have been disappearing and breaking them out, you're not going to like where they're going.
The palace.
The palace.
That's actually the next thing that I would be taking care of, not the first.
The first is killing Alyssa.
No, not killing Alyssa. Dealing with however Alyssa is getting people into town.
Or, hear me out, we cut off the serpent's head, and then the rest of the problem is that there isn't one.
Locke, vengeance is not a cool path.
I'm trying to make sure I don't say this in Locke's voice so it's not, like, in character. What is this, an after-school special? Hey, kids, you want to know what's cool? Doing your homework and respecting your elders. You know what's not cool? Bloody vengeance.
I will say that Locke said that vigilante justice is crime for nerds, which was a great line. But it immediately makes you think of Batman, which I love. And then
Batman...
even later for Solinar to go, vengeance is not the right path. It makes you again think about Batman, who's just like, vengeance.
Yeah, Batman is a big, like, vigilante justice nerd. Like, there's no denying that.
No.
They're using something to drop people into a form of stasis. It's magic because it can be interrupted, but I don't know what the source is. And if we can ruin the source, then their ability to abduct people is going to go way, way down.
Look, Solinar, I want you to hear me real quick.
Yes?
You are interrupting my frankly justified quest for vengeance that will ultimately help your quest by stopping this problem. And you go, no, instead, let's abandon the vengeance, and instead you help me do a more complicated version of what would have just incidentally happened if I had helped you get your vengeance.
I don't think that's true.
That's what I'm hearing. Mushroom friend, help me out here.
I don't think I want to be known for killing.
All right, Shroom boy, hey, I need you. He's gonna like kind of snap and like, look at me. We're not dwelling on that element. We're now helping Locke with the vengeance thing.
Okay, but the vengeance thing seems to involve me killing someone.
I promise you, I am happy to do the killing part. I can take that off your plate for you. I'm real good at stabbing.
So Solinar, you say we don't want to do this, right? That I feel like that's what...
Mushroom boy, you can have opinions!
Right, but... I just feel like maybe, we're kind of a little bit far off of what we were trying to do, and maybe we should just stay more focused. I mean, I get your point that I guess it could be helpful, but it doesn't seem like... It seems kind of just... I mean, because Solinar doesn't like the idea, right?
I mean, I think we can accomplish the same goal, but in a less troubling way.
You have never had a problem with killing people.
I've had lots of problems with killing people.
How many people have you killed since last we spoke?
Oh, God. I don't even want to think about how many people I've killed.
Just because it's a pretty girl doesn't mean that they don't still occasionally need to be stabbed.
I'm not going to argue that. I am going to argue I don't know that that's the correct answer for this situation.
I'm so happy to tell you it is.
I tell you what. I will make you this promise. If we encounter Alyssa taking care of the problem at its root, which is how people are getting abducted, not who they're getting abducted by, then if Alyssa confronts us, I will back you as much as I can, ideally as non-lethally with her as I can.
With the caveat that if it does get lethal, you don't stop me.
I don't think I can agree to that.
I don't think we've got a deal, friend. Solinar, I want to help you. I really do. And I know that you have this whole, world-saving thing, and I mentioned that I'm willing to help you and your friends. But I have to do this. The world is worse with her in it. Every breath she takes makes our world worse.
How long have you been doing this?
I found out about getting sold out about a year after we all got caught.
Okay, so you and I chose very different paths for getting out of the gang and having to change our life path. I spent about 5 or 6 in the bottle. Then I met up with a wrestler, and we started touring, and I started sobering up. Still fight it sometimes. Still have to deal with it sometimes. It's not behind me. If you find her, and you run her through like you're planning to, that's not the sort of thing that you just are done with at that point. You then have to live with that.
How many people have you killed to make the world a better place with this whole dragons thing you guys are doing? What I'm doing is no different. We're just focusing on different elements of the world to fix.
I think it is different. Because the people that I've gotten into conflict with and have ended up killing, I have not wanted them dead as the entire point of the conflict. You have wanted this for a long time. And I'm not saying you're invalid for that, but I worry for what becomes of you if you follow through with that. Because I've been there, and it's not pretty.
Locke is gonna, take his hands and sort of pass them over his face. And then he's gonna kind of look over outside sort of this dirt-streaked window and cross his arms.
I'm not saying she shouldn't pay. She should 100% pay. I just don't think the path of her payment is correct for you.
Look, I'll help you with what it is you're trying to do. But I am postponing killing her. It's not getting canceled.
I understand and appreciate your stance on this. And frankly, I have a strong suspicion that we're gonna end up seeing her anyway.
So, what do you need? Where do you want to go?
I need to know where these crews are getting outfitted for these trips that they're taking to different nations so that they can pick people up. Because wherever that is, that's what needs to go up in smoke.
You don't think it would be better to just, I don't know, go blow up the palace? If that's where they're being taken, then we can get them out, right?
Well, so that is part of the plan, kind of. I'm not talking about blowing up the palace, but we have to get in there anyway. And talking to Vesuvius, I understand you and he don't always see eye to eye. He said that it would be easier to set up the city so that we can get out clean if we take care of this first. And I suspect that the reason for that is if Alyssa's troops are refocusing their efforts on trying to rebuild what they've just lost, then they've got more freedom to move, Nell's group does. Because they won't have agents focused on trying to stop these caravans from getting in.
Koza, right?
Yes.
What do you want to do? I can't imagine Solinar's the planner in this group.
Oh, I don't think I'm the planner either, though.
Who's the planner, then? You've got the redhead, you've got the short blonde one, and you've got the wrestler guy. Who's the planner?
I was starting to think that it's between Boat and I.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not Boat. If we've been following Boat's plans...
Well, think about the heist in Tinkerhaven. That was mostly a Boat plan.
Did it really go that well, though? I feel like it went poorly.
It went very well.
In fairness, you did manifest a person.
I would call that wildly successful. We created another being out of whole cloth by the sheer force of willpower. I don't know how you get more successful than that.
All right, so I'm going with you. We're going to go figure out what's going on here, stop it, and then go to the palace, blow up the palace.
And if we happen to encounter Alyssa on the way...
Murder her immediately.
No. We will take her down. We will not kill her. Think of it this way. As valuable as having Alyssa dead would be, imagine her being held by Nell's group. And the sorts of information they could glean from things like her not having to be provided wet socks, a thing that she universally has always hated.
Yeah, shockingly, not really moving the ball down the field for me on the wet socks thing.
What I'm saying is she could be a valuable informational asset with very little squeeze required.
So what are the leads for where we're going?
Oh. Well, I was kind of hoping you had that.
Hey guys, Alex here. I am just popping in to thank some of our Patreon subscribers. I cannot tell you guys how much it means to me to have you guys all on this journey with us and for making this possible. I want to thank Brian Barltrop, Caitlin Brophy, Craig Little, James Arms, Kane Agnelli, and Kyle Oatman. You guys help make this reality, and I'll never be able to tell you how grateful I am. So hopefully this does a little bit of it. Thank you.
Picking one of my special D20s.
I'm going to use my fancy loaded dice.
So I did pick a fancy D20 for it, and I did roll a 25.
It would have been funny if you grabbed the fancy dice and then you just biffed it. Just an absolute...
Yeah, 25.
Nat 1.
Yeah.
Just like I'm like, oh, this is an important roll. I should pick my fanciest die for it.
I've got
and I
this.
nat one it.
I know exactly what I. Oh my god! You've betrayed me.